important part of problem solving is mapping out a plan. So if a program is just a series of steps to solve a problem, how do we go about finding the steps? Well, just like a recipe card is a procedure to follow to bake something, an algorithm is a procedure to follow to solve a problem. And there are many algorithms for solving problems. And one of them is to break the problem down into smaller parts and then break those parts into smaller parts. By breaking it down, a larger problem can seem much more manageable. So I'm going to give you a problem to solve, and I want you to list in exactly 3 steps how to solve it. The problem is that you need to register for next semester. You should be experienced with registering for classes. So the starting point is no classes, no idea what to take. The ending point is registered and ready to go. And I want you to write down in exactly 3 steps how to solve this problem. And each step can't be a 100-page paper. It needs to be a single sentence. I want you to pause your video. Now that you have the 3 steps, I want you to go back and take maybe 30 seconds to make sure that each step takes roughly the same amount of time and effort to complete. If you were going to drive to school, step 1 is not get in the car. Step 2 is turn the key in the ignition. Step 3 is drive to school. Those are very disparate steps in the amount of time and effort it takes to complete each one. So the next thing that I want you to do is to take each step of the 3 and break it into 3 steps. You should have a total of 9 steps when you're done. Pause the video until you get this done. Now I want you to take each of the 9 steps and break it into 3 steps for a total of 27 steps. Pause the video until you're done. And finally, I want you to look for the most complex step out of all of those 27, and I want you to break it into 3 steps. You should have a total of 30 steps, or if you're mathematically inclined, 27. Pause the video until you're done. Now that you've completed this, you have a detailed set of steps to register for classes. You can give this to your offspring for generations to come, and they'll be able to successfully register. And would you have been this detailed if I'd asked you to write down the steps to register? Very likely not. So this can actually make a large problem seem more manageable. I could actually solve world hunger this way. Continually break the problem down into steps, 3 and then 9 and then 27 and so on. And ultimately, I bet the final steps would involve me giving food to my hungry neighbor. So let's see an example of some steps to take a quiz in Canvas. You're going to sit down in a chair, sign into Canvas. If it's the wrong password, you're going to try it again. You're going to click on the link to the quiz. You're going to read the question. If you know the answer, you're going to select the answer. If you don't know the answer, you're going to frantically search the textbook for the answer. If you still don't know, you're going to try to remember that blasted rule. Is it C's or D's? What's the common? I can't remember. And then you're going to repeat this until you have no more questions. And then you're going to swear to read the chapter the next time. So pseudocode is a list of steps written in plain language English of how to solve a problem or accomplish a goal. And we use pseudocode to write the algorithm to solve problems in programming languages. So this is an example for mapping out a plan to write a program that converts temperatures. We're going to define 3 steps. First, we're going to get some information. Then we're going to do the conversions. Then we're going to display the results. After all, what is a program if it doesn't display the final results? And then we're going to add detail to the plan. We're going to come back and we're going to, for each step, and we're going to give it more detail. I probably don't know how to convert between Fahrenheit and Celsius, but I bet I could find the formulas online. How do I want to prompt the users? And then finally, what do I want to display to the users? I might write down what I would like that final display to say. You don't have to know exactly how to do it, but it's important to know that it needs to be done. That's one of the first steps in being able to solve a problem, is knowing that there's something that needs to be done, and I can determine how to do that later. So this is what the pseudocode might look like when I'm actually done. We're going to prompt the user for what kind of conversion they want to do. We're going to ask them for the temperature to convert. Then we're going to do the conversions based upon their input. And finally, I'm going to display the results to the user. So let's try this again with calculating a restaurant bill. So let's look at some steps. First, we need a bill amount and a tax rate and a tip rate. Then we need to actually calculate a tax and a tip. And then we're going to add it all together, and we're going to display the total bill to the user. And I could test this by adding some real live fake values to see if it works out. So I'm going to take my friends out to Red Lobster. I'm going to pay pretty high taxes, but I'm an absolute terrible tipper. Then I'm going to calculate the tax and the tip, and I'm going to add it all together, and I'm going to display the total bill. See, if I had forgotten a step, like adding it all up, this would help me to see that I didn't have a total to display.